You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast
delivering player experience news.
Let's go! What's up, guys? Welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 180. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM on Twitter, and I am joined over Discord by the Nintendo aficionado and artist extraordinaire, Roshan Warner, at Roro.
Hello. I finished swallowing my cookie just in time.
Perfect timing. And Ro, it's just you and I this week. Christian is still on his way back from Japan, so he will return next week, I think. And Gage is, of course, working. So we miss you
them both.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we don't miss the people in the chat right now joining us. And thank you to every one of you watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com/@podcastpxn and twitch.tv/podcastpxn as well. The topic of the show this week, Ro, is Pokemon Presents versus PlayStation State of Play. Let's kill each other over these things. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a battle to the death.
But first, the show always starts with the quick bites, so let's go ahead and jump right in. First item on the quick bites row, Shinji Mikami has officially announced that he is leaving Tango Gameworks in the coming months. This was a bit of a shock, I think. Didn't really see this one coming. I guess it's not terribly surprising, but just because he freaking rocks and he could do whatever he wants, basically. But yes, please still make Evil Within 3 Tango, please.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you. Like, as someone who likes Evil Within franchise, how does this make you feel? Do you think that you're still going to get it?
I don't know, to be honest. I feel like if there was a third one, he would stick around for that, but I don't know. Yeah, but obviously they could do other great things, as they showed us with Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush, yeah, totally. And it's exciting for Mikami as well to see what he might do next, where he might go to make something else, which is, super exciting. Apparently, there was I think Imran is the one who pointed this out, is that apparently he was planning to leave for a while, but he didn't want to because he was worried if he left, the studio would shut down. But apparently with the success of Hi-Fi Rush, he was like, okay, I can leave you guys now. I'm off. See you later. Which I think is, if that is true, I think that's really commendable on his part.
Yeah, that is awesome. And of course, he had minimal involvement with Hi-Fi Rush. So yeah, that's cool of him. Moving on. Playground Games has announced Rally Adventure, which is the next expansion for Forza Horizon 5. Ro, I know you're a huge Forza Horizon fan.
Ginormous.
We did get a brief trailer for the expansion and showed off new gameplay and teased some features. They promised new customization options coming as well, and they have promised that players can build a rally monster. Insane.
Exciting.
Yeah.
I will continue to say that these games are absolutely beautiful, though. I'll never not say that.
Absolutely. Very beautiful. You know what else is beautiful, Ro? Something you sent to us in the chat. Naruto X Boruto. I hope I said that correctly.
You didn't know.
Oh no. Okay, I better. Just read it. You read it because I butcher it.
The Naruto X Boruto. Okay. I don't know. That usually isn't anybody's first guess, honestly. So you did pretty good. Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections launches this year with the largest roster yet. The tale of Naruto Sasuke continues and has been recut and combined with all new original story. Which, heck yeah. That was one of the, like you said, one of the predictions I made when we were doing 2023 predictions. I was like, there's going to be a new Storm game. There's been leaks and all that kind of stuff. And here it is. I'm a little disappointed that it's just like a collection of the games that have already come out. But I am excited that it's like remastered and there's a little bit of new story stuff. So that's cool. I'm excited.
You know what? That's an early win for you for your predictions. Easy.
But I was like, maybe this is like maybe a 0.4 or 0.5 percentage because it's kind of like a remastered collection It's like I don't know. This is a new game per se.
You said that in the chat, like 0.4, and I was like, what does that mean? Like, how do you calculate 0.4 out of that?
I was like, I don't know if I deserve half a point, so maybe I'll go a little bit lower.
You're a madman.
I am excited for this, though. Even though it's not exactly what I wanted or even predicted, I definitely would pay for this for sure.
Very cool. Very cool. Our next story, I think Gage would be very excited about, which is Sons of the Forest has hit over 200,000 concurrent players and became the #1 seller on Steam worldwide. Woo! Insane. Damn. And also, additionally, it has also sold over 2 million copies on Steam in the first 24 hours since launch. Wow.
Damn. Gage was right.
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah, I've seen a lot of positive buzz about it. Again, this is like you told Gage. These are one of the games that isn't going to count in the fantasy league until it comes out, right?
Yeah.
But if it does come out this year, Gage is looking at some pretty good points.
Yeah. Got to get out of that early access so this year to get Gage points.
Ooh. Yeah.
I hope
Did you? Well, maybe you'll tell us later if you have you played it.
I have with Gage on Saturday or Sunday. Sunday.
Okay.
So nice. Yeah, more to come. More to come. But you know what else is more to come? Mortal Kombat 12 is coming with a K. I added that touch in the doc there. Coming. It's coming this year, as revealed during an earnings call, which is pretty funny actually. The dude on the call from Warner Brothers basically just says, "Yeah, and we've got Mortal Kombat 12 coming this year. It hasn't been announced, but he just revealed it." And then I love this as well because Ed Boon, the longtime creator of Mortal Kombat, posted on Twitter. He's like, "So who's heard the news about Injustice 3?" Just playing a joke, obviously, which is actually kind of funny. I expected Injustice 3 to be their next game because Mortal Kombat 11 was their last game, and they've been flip-flopping. So maybe they're not going to do that anymore.
That's a weird way to get for the game to be revealed. That must kind of suck for the people who are working on it, but exciting still. Mortal Kombat 12. Hell yeah.
Absolutely. And there will be more to come on that later as well. Next up, Hogwarts Legacy has officially sold $850 million and over 12 million copies in its first 2 weeks. Wow. I think we had a story about this last week, but man, seeing the numbers, that is significant.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, I was at work this week, and one of my coworkers just going on about how much they are enjoying this game. Yeah, it's people love it. People love their Hogwarts.
Yes, indeed. Props to Avalanche. Moving on. Of course, it is not an episode if I don't throw something Halo in here.
Of course.
Halo Infinite Season 3 trailer has dropped, and surprise, we're getting 3 new maps with Season 3, not the 2 that they had announced previously. So we got an extra map thrown in, which is called Chasm. Pretty cool, actually, to hear about how that map came to be. Essentially, one of the designers, multiplayer designers, was playing co-op campaign with one of his friends, and there was a little section, a little area of the campaign that he was like, man, this actually would be pretty cool for a multiplayer map. And he imported it in and made it into a multiplayer map. So very cool how that came to be. So yeah, very excited for Season 3. I think it's going to be the restart of the game, hopefully. Let's get us on the right path.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. And also, Unishek also posted on Twitter yesterday, which is another huge piece. Halo Infinite's ranked playlists are now using CSR-based matchmaking. So essentially, for people that don't know, there's 2 different rank formulas, I guess I'll call them, in Halo. There's CSR, which is like your visible rank, and then there's something called MMR, which is like your rank behind the scenes. A lot of people were always frustrated because MMR would dictate how you were being match made into teams to other players. And so they've made a change now where CSR is actually going to take precedence and will be that moving forward, which I actually tested that last night, Ro, and it worked phenomenally well because I felt like the matches were a lot more fair than previously for ranked matches. So yeah, I love it.
That's cool. That's a good change.
Absolutely. Moving on. I don't want to keep dwelling on more Halo. But we will dwell on my 2019 Game of the Year. The Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition has been announced. A next-gen version of the game, which is coming to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. It will arrive on March 7th, which is actually very surprising. Some of the stuff that they said that they're redoing in this seems, pretty decent. Like they said they were higher resolution graphics, a dynamic weather system, overhauled lighting and environments, improved performance and load times, enhanced details on characters, an increased level cap, and much more. So it's actually pretty substantial. And if you already own the Outer Worlds, you only have to pay a $10 upgrade for this upgrade, and otherwise it's normal price. But yeah, very cool.
Nice. Maybe I'll play it someday. I did play it, but I just never got super far into it.
It's fair.
But after beating Cyberpunk, I kind of want a long little RPG to get back into. So maybe this is one of them.
Did you ever? I can't remember. Did you ever play the Fallout games?
I played Fallout 4.
Okay,
that was the only one. I got pretty into it. I didn't love it, but I got pretty deep into it. I didn't beat it, but I enjoyed my time with it. But yeah.
And that's totally fair. Fallout 4, I felt like was a solid game, but Fallout 3 and New Vegas, amazing.
So I've heard. I still need to play those games too.
Yes, but yeah, Outer Worlds very reminiscent of that, like kind of that in Mass Effect, like had a baby. I don't know.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
Very good. Moving on. I feel like we've talked about this 100 times. Beyond Good and Evil 2's studio director is officially out at Ubisoft. According to a report from Kotaku, Ubisoft Montpellier staff were informed last week that their managing director was no longer with the company. Guillermo Caramana has been absent from the role since the beginning of 2023, and no reason for his departure was given. Carmona had been with Ubisoft for nearly 2 decades. Wow. Also, apparently, Ubisoft Montpellier, I'm probably butchering that, it's French, is facing a labor investigation from local government authorities due to a high number of developers experiencing burnout and going on sick leave. Ugh. Not
Yikes.
good. Not good.
Not good at all. Ubisoft is not doing so good. This game in particular is not doing so good. So, yeah, I guess, sad to see. But we, like you said, we've talked about it so much that these news stories aren't super surprising anymore. Where it's like, oh, someone left Ubisoft. Kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Maybe, bro, we should take these, Beyond Good and Evil 2 and, another pirate game that, we'll maybe not mention the name of Skull and Bones. That should be taken out back and shot. Because, man, I don't...
They might be doing, like, they saying that they're focusing on Assassin's Creed, and they announced all those, like, what are they, like 10 Assassin's Creed games in development now?
Yeah.
It's like, I know Ubisoft is a big company, but it's like, geez Louise, like you're working on a lot. And then there's the Avatar game too. Yeah, it's Oh, we'll see. We'll see if all these games come out or not. And if they all do, are they going to be good?
That's true, yes. They can crank them out, but can they be good?
Exactly.
All right. The last quick bite here. Christian, I'm sure, is sobbing that he can't be here right now, but I'm sure he'll say something about it next week. Or maybe we'll manage to make him appear by just talking about it.
Yeah, maybe I'll just call in again. Yeah.
Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree has been announced, and it is an expansion to Elden Ring. Officially from the Elden Ring Twitter account, Rise, Tarnished, and Let Us Walk a New Path Together. An upcoming expansion for Elden Ring is currently in development. We hope you look forward to new adventures in the lands between. Very, very unsurprising that we're getting this announcement, but Christian is cheering.
Yes. Very excited. As are all the other Elden Ring fans right now. Yep. Losing their minds.
Absolutely. You know who else is losing their minds? Some people at EA, and we are going into the PXN news of the week in a new little segment I put here that says "Let's do better." I don't know. I just keep coming with these little mini segments. EA has announced that they have laid off an entire division of 200 plus Apex Legends QA testers over Zoom. Wow.
There's always the worst way to do it too. It's never sit down a week in advance with the people, at least have a meeting or something in person. I know Zoom is a meeting place. It's I remember what happened with Google, with some people just showing up to work and their access card's just not working. It's oh, that's because you don't work here anymore. Oh, good to know. And just go what the heck? But yeah, this is sad, and like you said in this is the do better category, and this happens a lot, and I'm wondering if we're going to get to a point where we have done better in the game industries and where we could say good job us because every week it's another situation like this, and it's often it's the same companies too. It's we're not hearing from Naughty Dog or Insomniac. It's EA. It's Ubisoft.
Activision.
It's Activision. It's always those three. Yeah. And it's sad.
Yeah. Indeed. It's not good at all. I just can't even fathom having 200 people. If this is just one Zoom session, having 200 people on there and saying, "All right, so you guys are all let go." What? That's insane. Not good.
Yeah.
But
let's do better.
Yes, let's do better. Continuing on, let's do better. Yoshida has some words for JRPGs. Do you want to talk about this?
Sure. Yes. So this was from a interview that SkillUp did. He's a YouTuber with Yoshida. There was an event where a bunch of YouTubers and press got to try out Final Fantasy 16, which is an RPG coming out later this year. I say RPG because Yoshida doesn't want me to say JRPG anymore, and there is a reason for that. And I'll try to find the quote. I'll just start reading actually and see if I run into it. Following up on while there excuse me, sorry. While there has been a deluge of Final Fantasy 16 news and impressions, one interview in question between Australian YouTuber SkillUp and Final Fantasy 16's director Naoki Yoshida has been making waves, specifically for his take on the term JRPG and how some developers at Square Enix not only dislike the label, but even consider some instances of its uses discriminatory. Following up on a comment that Yoshida had made during the Q&A section of his session about the action game genre has advanced and become the norm, SkillUp asked if the JRPG genre hadn't advanced in the same way. By SkillUp's own admission, he hadn't known what he was stepping into by asking that question. Interpreting for Yoshida, Final Fantasy 14 and 16's translation lead Koji Fox shared that the development team does not develop games with the thought process that they are JRPGs, just RPGs. I'm going to read the next quote. This is going to depend on who you ask, he specified. But there was a time when this term first appeared 15 years ago, and for us developers, the first time we heard it, it was like a discriminatory term. And I watched another video on this and to get some backup, because when I saw this, I was Really, like I always thought JRPG as like a positive thing, especially now. It's like every time I hear a new JRPG is coming, it's like, hell yeah, sign me up for that. And I feel like that's how it's been a lot recently. But I found out that it hasn't always been that way at all, and that JRPGs were honestly used in a way to separate those Japanese games from Western games, because in the earlier times of like in the early 2000s, they were just seen as bad. Like, these games are terrible. Like, let's focus on the Fallouts and the Skyrims and all that kind of stuff. And people were like, there's a interview with an Asian developer from Japan who I'm blanking on the game that he worked on, but he was at a panel where the Fez developer was Phil Fish was the guy at the panel, and the Asian developer asked, "So I know you were inspired by Mario and Metroid and all these awesome Japanese games. What do you think about the recent Japanese games that have come out recently?" And Phil Fish just like straight up says, "Your games suck. You need to get with the times. You guys are so bad. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't like your games anymore." And you could just see like the life leave his face, because he was so excited to ask Phil Fish this question. Like, he was proud of his country. And apparently, like, that sort of sentiment, like how Phil Fish reacted to that developer, was kind of how the culture was back then towards JRPGs. And I had not known that at all. But apparently that's how it was. And that's how these developers in Japan feel when they hear that word. And they are aware of the fact that we are a bit more open to them now, and that we see JRPGs in a different light. But at the same time, they still look at that name in a negative light because of the history of it. And I was like, that's so interesting. I guess it's kind of similar to how people view the Oscars recently, with how foreign movies are separated from movies. Like, they are movies too. Like, why can't we just celebrate them in the same way? So I think that's kind of how they are looking at it, is like, why are you separating us from the other RPGs? That's what we're making RPGs. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting to learn about that. I just did not know that.
Yeah, that is very fascinating, because like you're saying, I thought the same thing. Like, JRPG is like a genre in my head. That's just like, I didn't even think anything differently. But yeah, that's very, very interesting, and like knowing the history of JRPG and how it's seen differently by the developers. Yeah.
And he was saying, and even Sony themselves, like a Japanese company, separates Japanese developed games from RPGs on their own site. And they were like, why are you doing that? And it's because people don't like those types of games sometimes, and they're looking for like what I said, the Skyrim and the cyberpunks of the world, instead of the Yakuzas and the Personas. Like, they're different games and they are developed differently, but I can definitely see where they're coming from, because when I first saw it, I was like, I don't know about that, guys. But then I learned more about the history of it. It's like, okay, I see where you guys are coming from now. And I don't want Final Fantasy 16 to be in that category. They want it to be seen as an RPG. And it's like, okay, fair enough.
And that's totally fair too. Like, there's so many like subgenres of RPGs that, you know, other games don't have these special labels for RPGs. You know,
right?
They're all just RPGs. Whether you know,
just like the guy, the Asian developer that was there asking the question, he brought up Mario. It's like, Mario's Japanese developed. Why isn't it a Japanese platformer? It's like, it's just a platformer. But yeah.
Very fascinating. Thank you for adding that. I did not see that. Kurek says, hello, Podcast PXN. Hello, Kurek.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. We are in the middle of the PXN News of the Week, and we are moving on to another Let's Do Better moment for our little segment here in News of the Week. Atomic Heart developer Mundfish has apologized for a racist cartoon in the game. The Ukraine government is also calling for all users worldwide to avoid this game, so that's an important context to add as well. Earlier this week, PC Gamer published a story about online criticism surrounding the presence of a racist caricature within Atomic Heart. The caricature in question was found in the game's Resident Evil-style save rooms, where players can take a breather from the action and watch old episodes of New Pogody, or well, just you wait. I guess that's another one. A Soviet era cartoon that started in 1969. The show can be summarized as a Soviet version of Tom and Jerry, starring a wolf who tries time and time again to get his hands on a hare. The issue is present in episode 12, titled Museum, which first aired in 1978. A statue is shown in the episode that's a racist depiction of an African tribesman. Folks on Reset Era criticized Atomic Heart for including the cartoon at all, let alone without any warning or context. Yeah, that's terrible. And like that's just another point of like, 1978 wasn't that long ago.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, people forget like how recent these things have been happening, and it's terrible that, as a developer, you're going to put this in your game. Like, why? And maybe it's partly because they are funded by the Russians.
Yeah.
Man,
that show's such a terrible game for my fantasy critic. My God, who knew? But yeah, that was it was disappointing to see, especially because I chose it for my fantasy critic. I was like, oh God.
Right.
But yeah, it's like you said, it wasn't that long ago, and maybe that's why it was included, because people are still thinking like this. It's crazy that it's like, I don't see the problem with this. Let's put it in our game because I don't know. I think context might help. Like if there's a reason for including this, explain why, or maybe explain why it's bad, or I don't know. I don't think it's I don't know. I feel like there should be reasons for stuff like this to be in media. If you're going to include stuff like this, have like a reason for it. But if it's just there because for what seems like no reason, I feel like then if there's no reason, then don't include it. Like,
yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely spot on. There's so many other things you could do, like build a cartoon that's fully original. Like, I mean, there's games that have done original shows, like just little cheap, goofy shows.
Control has some like original animated stuff in it, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely. So yes, please let's do better.
Let's do better, please.
And speaking of doing better, Blessing Adeoye.
Yes.
I had to think about that for a second. I hope I did that right.
Blessing Adeoye Jr.
Perfect. Yes. Blessing Adeoye has a new video for us on Kinda Funny, which I thought was, I mean, a lot of people were talking about it on Twitter that I saw, and I thought it was really cool, so I thought I would add it in here as well, especially on the back of this terrible news story. So it's like one
balancing it out.
Yeah. But he did a video on how to fix black hair in video games. So of course, representation for African Americans in their hairstyles in video games has been terrible throughout the history of video games. Like, and he even covered that. Like, I loved his points about like, essentially, like, you get afro or you get cornrows. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's totally true. Like, that's, or you have to put a white person's, hairstyle on, and it makes, it is. I really enjoyed his video, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it was a really good video. I watched it yesterday too. But yeah, honestly, a lot of the times when I'm playing these games where I have the character customization, I usually don't even make a black person because I know I'm going to look stupid. So I usually either make an Asian person or a white person or just a girl that I think looks cool. Because the customization options are pretty bad most of the time, and I can make me pretty well most of the times because I could just do like a bald head or you do have an afro, but usually those options don't look very good anyway. Yeah. So I just opt out with choosing a different type of character and kind of role playing in my head like who this character is instead of putting myself in the shoe. But his interview with Lienza, Roger's girlfriend, was like, wow. It was like, that is crazy with what she went through with her hair in high school, at prom and all that kind of stuff, which is just so sad. But I think as you were saying with this whole section, we need to do better. And as Blessing said, we are doing better. We are getting a lot more customizations in games and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's we're on the right path for sure.
Absolutely. Very cool. Definitely recommend checking it out. It's on Kinda Funny Games YouTube channel. Check it out. All right, Ro, we've made it to the moment that we've all been waiting for. Every episode we wait for this moment, the Fantasy Critic check-in.
Yes.
Yeah, so, Ro, we were talking a little bit ago about Mortal Kombat 12 being announced in an earnings call. Well, Daniel went on there and went ahead and picked up Mortal Kombat 12 for $4 before the deadline.
Little.
So,
oh my god!
I just hope that it actually releases this year because it hasn't been announced, but they said in the earnings call it's coming this year. So
sounds coming. Gotta trust that dude on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, right? Sure.
Surely he knows. Oh my god. Yeah, I hope you're right too.
Yeah, I hope so. Kira,
you're filling up quick though. Oh, sorry. Yeah,
yes, I am filling up quick. You're right. I need to slow down a little bit because I'm gonna run out of games, and then some cool stuff will be announced. Keurig says in the chat, "Did any of you pick up Hogwarts Legacy?" Yes, Gage did, and he got I want to say like 14 points or 16 points.
He got 14. Yes, 14 points.
Yeah.
Yep. So. I'm currently still in last place with four points. Thanks because of my Atomic Heart choice, as we talked about a little bit earlier.
Yeah. And Destiny 2 Lightfall came out.
Yes.
And we're just waiting for reviews.
We're just waiting on reviews, but that might not even save me either.
That's true.
I was thinking that this would be an easy one, but the community is kind of not too happy with it. And I have an article here that I wanted to read for you, Daniel.
Okay.
To maybe get a better idea of what I might be sitting at when the reviews do come in, and it's all about the Destiny 2's campaign. I'm reading from Games Radar, and the article is by Ian Harris. Destiny 2 Lightfall's campaign is taking a battering from fans, and the subtitle is "The story goes back to Destiny's roots, but not in a good way."
Oh no.
Destiny 2's Lightfall expansion is out, but players are not loving it so far. Now that the update has been available for one day, fans are wrapping up on the campaign, with plenty of them taking to social media and online forums to vent their frustrations. A quick look at Twitter and Reddit will give you a gist of what people aren't happy about, but we'll go a bit deeper. But before I go a bit deeper, I did want to actually touch on the Twitter ones because they're from people that I trust in the Destiny sphere. Paul Tassi, of course. Yes. He's the Forbes games writer at Forbes, but he writes a lot about Destiny there. And he's quote tweeting another Destiny YouTuber who's True Vanguard, and says, honest thoughts on the campaign. Tormentors are incredible, which is a new enemy. Neomuna, which is the new planet, is beautiful. Wish it was a bit more vertical though. Story was rushed, not enough time to learn about these characters. Empty City 2, Witch Queen narrative overall was better, in my opinion. And Paul Tassi responded with, the lack of Savathun is kind of an issue story-wise. Savathun, a layered villain that may in fact be a hero executing a brilliant master plan, and Callus, a dick that we have fought 8 times, and he's still a dick. So that is super sad. Exactly on the heels of Savathun, which was such a great villain, but as he said, like, she might be plotting something that is actually helping us in the long run. To go from that to a character that, again, we fought so many times and hasn't changed and doesn't have any like real depth is kind of disappointing. But My Name is Bife is the other one that I wanted to touch on real quick. And he is we call him the lore daddy in the Destiny community because he does like all these great videos on Destiny story and the lore and going really deep into it. And he says, okay, I have a video incoming on the story. First impressions, I hate to say it, but without a shadow of a doubt, there are some massive fumbles. No comments on this thread because spoilers and all that, but so much promise left unrealized, he says. And he is the story guy. But another common criticism is the dialogue itself, with the community finds goofier in tone. While Lightfall is supposed to be representative of the beginning of the end for Destiny's long-running stories, the style offsets the sense of that threat. A new character, Nimbus, has begun to represent those issues, with one fan offering an unflattering comparison to the MCU's Love and Thunder's take on the Norse gods. So they're comparing the dialogue to Love and Thunder.
Oh no!
So depending on who you are, you might really like that, but I am not one of those people.
No.
But yeah, it was really heartbreaking to see those kind of things, because I am still excited, but based on what people are saying, the tone of the trailers that we saw is not what's being reflected in the actual game. And worst of all is that, which is what I think the subtitle of the article is alluding to, with it going back to its roots, where the story is setting up a lot of more mysteries instead of answering questions that we've been waiting for so long. And with it being chapter 1 of 2, with this ending of the Lightfall stuff, it's like, no, you're supposed to be answering these questions now, not setting up more questions and more mysteries. But yeah, that's where I'm at. So I'm kind of worried with the scores. I'm thinking maybe like a 75, 76, because the gameplay is still really fun, apparently. But the new Strand ability is kind of divisive as well. It's really fun in the story campaign, but outside of the campaign, people are having problems with it because the cooldowns are terrible. But I digress. I'm scared, but I'm also excited at the same time. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed by how everything shook out.
Yeah, that definitely sucks. I'm excited to play with you on Friday. I think we're gonna play it. But yeah, it seems like every time there's an expansion too, like I'll see either the Destiny account or Bungie tweet out, we're turning off this thing for this amount of time because it's broken, or like something's not working as intended.
Yeah.
And like, oh no.
Yeah. But that is absolutely true. But it felt like with Witch Queen, they were on a uptick. Like they knew what they understood what they needed to do going forward, especially story wise, and it just feels like they again went back to the roots in a bad way, and people are not liking that. And what we were talking about a while ago is that people love it the first week, and then they find the issues later, and it's like, okay, maybe it wasn't that great, but we already are finding the issues like the day after it released. So it's like, oh god, not good.
Yeah, that sucks. That's my major thing with Destiny, like over the course of the franchise, has been like, I feel like the story has always been a bit jumbled and a mess, and like they require you to read a bunch of the Grimoire stuff, which like I love that kind of stuff for supplemental reasons, but like you shouldn't have to go to that to get the story. Like the main story, like you're saying, if it's like add-on stuff, like, oh, that's a nice little tidbit about Akora, but it's like, no, you need to read this if you want to understand what the Traveler is. And I was like, what? Oh god. Yeah. Oh, well, I hope that they can stick the landing next year with the end.
Me too. They gotta.
Kirik, yes, Octopath Traveler 2 came out as well. That was, I think we talked about that last week or 2 weeks ago, and I got 15 points for that.
Heck
yeah. All right, so that's our fantasy draft check-in. Moving into our Tlu timeout, Ro. Episode 7 of The Last of Us HBO series, Left Behind, is the title of the episode, to, of course, reflect the great DLC from the first Last of Us game. This episode was another very strong episode. Very much enjoyed this episode. It is crazy to me that like many of the episodes I say like is very good, and then I'm just like, overall the series, I'm just like, I like it. Like I love the environments. I love like the feeling and everything else, but I'm just like, I know everything that's happening, and it's again just moving at such a quicker pace than the games, that I'm just like, all right, this is why personally I would have rather seen something new. But anyways, that's going down another path. This episode, amazing episode. I thought the performances were phenomenal. Bella did a great job, as well as what's her name?
Oh man, I'll find it.
Riley's
actress's name.
Actress.
Oh man,
Storm Reed.
There we go.
She did an incredible job as well. Yes. And like, it's interesting because I feel like it was they framed it up, I feel like, differently than the game. Like, even the moment when they were sitting down talking to each other, they had some of the same lines, but like, it felt delivered differently. I don't know if you got the same feeling from that, but like, it felt like it was much more, uplifting, I guess, in the show. Whereas the game, it was like more like, this is it. Like, it's me and you. We're together. I don't know. I just felt like a different feeling. So I really liked that change or that shift of feeling, I guess, in that ending moment, I guess, with Ellie and Riley.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely felt like the final conversation between them felt different for sure, because it was really a lot more emotional, I found, than in the game, where it was emotional, but there was just something about how those two acted, especially Storm Reed as Riley, where she just broke down crying, saying sorry at the end, and that didn't happen in the game. She was way more stoic isn't the right word for that, but she was not calm either, but she put on a very strong vibe when talking to Ellie about that, as opposed to this, where they were just both like, we're going to die, but let's keep going as long as we can. And that last part really hit. Like, I almost cried for that part. And like you're saying, we know what's going to happen, but they're doing such a good job in doing these scenes a little bit differently. And Bella did it so well. I totally, and in the game, I believed it at a certain point, but it took me longer to get to that point where it's like, oh, she's into Riley. This is cute. Yeah. It took me longer to get there, and maybe it's because I already knew that she was into Riley because I played the game. But I feel like Bella sold it so well with like how, just when they're in the photo booth as well, she just has like these mannerisms where she's nervous, and she just has this really dorky smile on that you only have on when you're around somebody that you have a crush on, especially when she kisses Riley, and then she's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then Riley's like, for what? And then she just has this like shit-eating grinning, but in like the cutest ways, like, oh, my crush likes me back. It's like, she did it so well. I totally felt the connection between them. They both did a great job to sell that first crush, first love sort of thing. But the scene with the electric stairs, the escalator thing.
Oh yeah.
That was so good. That was adorable. This show, this episode, I think, had me smiling the most. And it was just their awesome back and forth that I love just watching. And my mom was watching it with me, and she liked that too. It's like, I really like this, Rajan, but I know something bad's going to happen. And I just want that bad thing to happen so I could cry. And it was like, no, we got to enjoy this part because, got to enjoy this part before it's all over. And and it was all over, and she did cry. And just so good.
Very good. And like, that's maybe one part that I wish we could have seen more of, is like, we never saw what happened after that fact of them getting bitten, and like seeing like what they were gonna do because like surely they lived up to like a day maybe after that. So like, I feel like that was like a missed opportunity to see like more of what happened there, because we didn't get that in the games either, or in the game, not games. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see it. I do like that it's left up to interpretation. It's like how that went down, especially even in this show. I think it's even more implied that she did have to kill Riley because of what she said in like the previous episodes, where like, I don't want to talk about it, after Joel asked her, what do you mean it wasn't your first time killing someone? Like, Riley might have been that one person that she killed before. That's at least how I'm reading into it now. I think in the game it's implied too, but not that much. It's like,
I literally didn't even pick up on that. That's really great. Yeah.
It could be Riley, it could be someone else, but I'm in my head, it's like she had to kill Riley. Riley turned and she didn't, and she tried to wait it out as long as she could, and she couldn't. It's either that or the Walking Dead sort of, well, depending on what you choose in the Telltale's The Walking Dead, you just leave Riley alone, which is honestly, in another way, even more heartbreaking, just leaving your friend behind to turn. It's like almost worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I like that they don't show it, but I would be lying if I didn't say if they want to do like a little add-on content where they show what happened. I would be totally down for that too.
For sure.
Yeah, I love the very end with Joel and Ellie in the room, like him stitching it up, and Joel like at the beginning of the episode just like, just get out of here, go find Tommy, it's fine. And Ellie coming back and stitching him up, and them holding hands like, we're in this together, aren't we? He's like, yeah, we're in this together, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah, that was a really great moment. I agree. Like, yeah, I don't want to. God, every time you say something, I think of something negative in my head about it. But like, that's my major thing with this series. Like, it's progressed so quickly. Like, I feel like Joel and Ellie in the show haven't really gotten to the point of that making sense, in my opinion. But I love that moment. Like, I absolutely love that moment. Like, if we were playing, if this show was something we were playing for hours and hours with these characters, then that moment would have been like way more impactful for me, like seeing that and him saying, get out of here, get out of here. But like, 2 episodes ago, or I don't know, 3 episodes ago, Joel was like, Ellie, get over here. What are you doing? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I agree. And I think I am in the same boat as you, where I feel like it is rushed, but I'm just enjoying those moments.
Yeah.
I'm still enjoying those moments, but I also wonder if it's because we've played the games and we know how
that's fair,
how it went in the games, and like I wonder if my mom feels like it's rushed, because there are shows that I have no context to, and I could tell like, oh, this is feeling rushed. This is feeling really weird, and not having any. I don't know. It's
what?
It's very.
Get your mom on here next week to talk.
I will ask her. Yeah, I'll ask her how she feels about the Joel and Ellie relationship, if it's rushed or anything.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, I totally hear what you're saying, because there were previous episodes where I was like, can they say that to each other right now?
Right.
I don't know if I'm feeling that yet, but this one worked for me.
Yeah. And obviously the production level of this show is just amazing. Like HBO's done a great job. Like just envisioning or like showing off that mall. Like that mall scene is just incredible. Like they got all the little pieces in there. The escalators, like you were talking about, very cool. Ellie's like, wait, these stairs can move? Like, wow.
Oh my god, so good.
Yeah.
And Troy Baker's on next week.
Yes.
What? That is so cool. So cool.
Did you see Ashley Johnson's character? Did you see who she's playing apparently?
I heard that. I know who she's playing, but I didn't see her in the trailer for next week.
Oh, okay.
Is she in the next episode?
I'm not sure if she is, but I saw people talking about her already, like her character, so I assumed that maybe she pops up next week. But yeah, that's kind of interesting as well how they did that. So
very cool. I'm excited.
Me too. All right, Ro. Moving into what you got for me. I, of course, alluded to this a little bit ago. I played Sons of the Forest on Sunday with Gage and had a lot of fun with it. We only played for like a couple hours or so, but in my couple hours, very fun survival game. I really, really enjoyed it thus far. I'm sure we'll play more of it at some point. But yes, one of the coolest components, Ro, though, is I don't know if you've ever played survival games like Rust, or like I can't even think of any other survival games.
No.
Okay.
I will say no. I think I might have, but I don't even remember. So I'll say no.
Well, so essentially, like one of the major components of this type of game is like resource gathering. Like you got to chop wood, and I guess Minecraft sort of is like that, a lighter version of that. So like you have to
Animal Crossing,
that's fair, actually. No, that's fair.
Animal Crossing, that's a survival game.
Yeah, I mean it could be. It's a light one, Yeah. But you have to gather resources and everything else. But like one cool thing that this game does that a lot of people have been lauding is it introduces a character called Kelvin, which Yeah.
I have heard about Kelvin, yes.
It's very cool. Like he has like no, I don't know. I haven't gotten like, we haven't played much of the story yet or anything for me to like have a grasp on like if there's a story or canonical reason for Kelvin, but Kelvin essentially doesn't talk or like respond to you really at all, but you essentially hand him a note that says like what you want him to do. So like if you want him to gather sticks in the area, you can tell him to gather sticks in this range and tell him how big of a radius to look for sticks, post it on him, and he just does that. He literally brings sticks to you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And like you can tell him to like clear forests, so he'll start chopping down trees all around you and bring back the tree stumps like to you. So like it takes the unfun parts of survival games and makes it exciting because like he's doing all the resource gathering and then you're just doing all the survival stuff, which is really, really cool. Yeah, it's very fascinating. I don't think any game's ever done this before. And yeah, Kelvin. Oh, I did see that. Sorry, one last thing. I did see a really funny clip. So apparently they told him to cut down trees in an area. Well, they had built a tree house and he went and cut down the tree that the tree house was in and just destroyed everything. So that was kind of a funny gap.
That's exactly how I heard about Kelvin. It was like these clips of, it was like, all right, Kelvin, go get some trees. And it's like, all right, on it. And he goes like destroys like a house to get the tree stones. Like, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, it's very good. So yeah, had some fun with that.
Nice.
But Ro, what you got for me?
Nothing. I have not played anything this week. But now that I'm off, I might play some more Yakuza, Destiny, for sure on Friday. But yeah, I haven't been up to anything gaming this week, unfortunately.
Destiny on Friday. Let's go. All right. Moving into the topic of the show, Ro, but before we dive into Pokemon Presents versus PlayStation State of Play, I do have a little bit of a Pokemon news story here that I inserted as well. Pokemon Company has announced that they are giving a $200,000 donation to global giving for earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. They said that their hearts are with the people of Turkey and Syria affected by the recent earthquakes to support children and families in need across the region. The Pokemon Company International is donating $200,000 to its partners and for the Earthquake Relief Fund. To learn more about Global Giving's efforts, you can visit www.globalgiving.org. So I thought that was really cool. And by default, I almost said Nintendo. By default, Pokemon wins this. No,
Hell yeah! So they just have to buy their way into it. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
No, that's it's awesome. That's a really good move on their part, especially when you have the money. Why not share it to people in need? Very good.
Heck yeah. All right, Ro. We're going to go down to some breakdowns here. Pokemon Presents gets a breakdown here from Wario64 on Twitter. We love you, Wario. I don't know how organized this is going to be, so you may have to help me with this because...
It looks like it's organized from the beginning to end.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, so they announced that Pokemon World Championships 2023 is taking place August 11th through 13th. Very cool for the competitive community there. Mm-hmm. Pokemon Trading Card Game Classic Premium Set has been announced, which I thought this looked fascinating. From what I saw of it, it's essentially like the classic cards, right, with this set?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they have like a cool new like backing to them. It doesn't have the blue Pokemon stuff, so it's like a collector's item for sure. And it comes with like one of those battle. I don't even know what to call it. A battle station, battle board. Yeah. And it's pretty sleek. It looks cool.
Yeah, it does look cool. We got a brand new Netflix series announced, which those never go poorly, right?
Never. No. Especially when it's an anime.
That's true, actually. That's fair. Pokemon Concierge, which is a stop motion animation from Dwarf Studio. We've got a little screenshot of Psyduck. Let's go. I remember Psyduck.
Yes. I when I saw this, I was excited that they're partnering with Netflix, and then I saw what it was. I was like, oh darn it! But it looks cute. It looks cute. Definitely looks cute. I will definitely watch it because it's Pokemon. But I was expecting it to be like a short mini series following like a new trainer or something. But looks like it's like a cute little, it's again Pokemon. Essentially, it's for kids. I'm just still into it, so it's really my issue. But yeah, I think it looks cute.
Totally fair. Totally fair. Zacian, is that right?
Oh, I don't even know. I think Zacian? Yeah, okay. I'm not sure actually. I totally forgot how to say this Pokemon's name.
I'm gonna go with your Zacian is coming to Pokemon Unite. Zacian's Wheeled event, Boss Rush mode has been announced, I guess.
Good for them.
Sure. Yeah. We're excited.
I definitely fell off of Pokemon Unite. I enjoyed it for like the first month, and I fell off. But yeah, I'm glad they're still updating it though. That is cool.
We also got some cafe remix updates. Pokemon Cafe.
Yeah, so you could imagine my excitement so far watching this.
Yeah,
how hyped I am. It's like, oh wow,
yeah,
new Netflix series.
Okay.
Pokemon Unite got updated. Pokemon Cafe. Wow. Okay.
All the things that I'm not interested in.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
But we also got Pokemon Masters X, which
yay!
I mean, I don't know what that is, but
it's the mobile Pokemon game, another mobile Pokemon game that has like all the iconic Pokemon characters, and you could battle against them. Apparently, it's cool. Not my cup of tea either. But they introduce Hop and a couple of other characters. I think Lily. Yes, the Hop's Zapdos. It's like a variant, I guess, on that Pokemon.
Oh.
I'm blanking on the name of the character, but oh well. They introduce some new characters to the enormous cast to that game, which is cool.
Yeah. And then moving into the meat and potatoes of the show.
Now we're talking.
Pokemon Sleep is real, bro. It's back.
Yes, it's back, and it's releasing later this year. Or I don't know. I have to double check on that actually. Pokemon coming summer 2023.
And
yes,
it's a game that makes you look forward to waking up in the morning.
Yes, I didn't have a reason before, so I'm glad Pokemon Sleep is on the way.
Are you gonna, in all seriousness, are you gonna use this? Do you think?
I think I will. I think I'll give it a shot. I mean, I don't do anything else when I'm sleeping besides sleeping, so
that's fair.
May as well add a little something to wake up to in the morning instead of the awful Twitter.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think this is cool. It looks kind of silly, but I like silly.
Well, and like there's a lot of sleep apps out there that people actually say helps with sleep cycles and stuff a lot. So yeah, it'd be a cool obviously Pokemon skin of that. So that's cool.
Yeah.
We also got Pokemon Go Plus that was announced, which can be used with Pokemon Sleep and Pokemon Go.
Actually, Dan, it's Pokemon Go Plus.
Oh,
I know. It's literally plus. They said plus.
Why?
I don't know. I think Pokemon Go Plus already exists.
Oh.
So they make Pokemon Go plus.
Yeah, that only makes sense.
Yeah. Crazy.
Oh, Nintendo, come on. Or I guess I keep blaming Nintendo. I guess technically Pokemon Company.
Yes.
My goodness.
I know.
These naming schemes. Pikachu is trapped in the Pokemon Go Plus.
Oh, let him go.
Let him out. We're also getting new functions coming to Pokemon Go Plus out July 14th. You can get a Snorlax wearing a nightcap.
Adorable.
Heck yeah. But now, to your meat and potatoes.
Yes.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet gets a new Paradox Pokemon. And also, we're getting Pokemon Go functionality coming to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, as well as Pokemon Home support coming early 2023. But the biggest thing, Pokemon Scarlet Violet, the Hidden Treasure of Area Zero DLC expansion has been announced. How excited are you, Ro?
I am excited. A little bit disappointed by how it was revealed. But I am excited for more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC. I was hoping that we would see a little bit of what's in store besides the admittedly beautiful concept art, very pretty. But I was excited to see like what the places we would be exploring, the Pokemon that we'll be meeting, and we did get some art of them. But I was hoping for some in-game stuff. But in their defense, apparently it's coming out later, like way later this year. So they've got some time to show it off. And I was kind of disappointed as well by the Paradox Pokemon, which were hinted at in the main game, and for them just to be like a kind of a tacked on thing and not something involved in the story was kind of disappointing, which maybe they are, but it seemed like it was like a Terra raid sort of situation going on, which is like an in-game activity that you could do with other players. But yeah, I was the whole direct itself was a little lackluster for me. Yeah, but I am excited for more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet because I love that game.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, I guess before we do the PlayStation State of Play, what would you rate Nintendo on this Direct?
Out of 10, I would give this. I'll give it a 5.
Oh, wow.
Lower. Yeah.
Okay.
I would give it a 5, just based on what I was expecting and wanting. And again, it's usually my fault if it's below a 5 or anything. It's usually on the person. But in my defense, they didn't say what was going to be in this one, and sure. Usually they do. Usually they're like, okay, expect this, and this will be there. And Nintendo's been better about that too, and they didn't do that this time. So I was a little excited. Just at the very least, see a little bit more out of the DLC. And we didn't get that. So yeah, I'll give it a 5 because besides the DLC stuff, everything before was like,
yeah, great.
Pokemon Go is being updated. Pokemon, all the mobile games are being updated. Great.
Right.
Yeah.
They probably should have set expectations a little, lower here. Yeah. But speaking of low expectations, let's go into the PlayStation State of Play roundup, and of course, back to Wario64 on Twitter. I guess we'll start at the top here. I hope this is in order because I didn't even watch the State of Play, and after seeing everyone's reactions to it, I was like, all right, I don't even need to.
It does look like it's in order again.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So the first thing we got, the Foglands, was announced for PSVR 2 coming this year, which this looks a little spooky. Looks kind of cool.
It does. Yeah. I like the style. It was neat.
Then we go over to Green Hell VR, which Green Hell, that's a great name. I'm not sure what kind of game it is. It looks kind of like Far Cry E, like wilderness, but
yeah, I don't remember this one myself actually.
Interesting.
The VR stuff, I honestly
that's fair. No,
I was like skimming, or not skimming, like glazed over during that because I watched it live, but I was like, I don't have a VR headset. Not super excited right now, so yeah, my apologies.
No, that's fair. That's completely fair. They've got a lot to prove still on the game front for the PSVR 2. Synapse, we got a look at that on PSVR 2. Kind of like a maybe puzzly shootery mixture.
Yeah.
Interesting. We got Journey to Foundation, which is interesting. It kind of reminded me of Perfect Dark, like the one the one screenshot, I was like, what the heck? These are like perfect dark in space. I don't know. Experience the universe of Isaac Asimov's Foundation.
Okay. Autumn 2023.
Then we can both speak to this.
Oh, yes.
Before Your Eyes is coming March 10th to PSVR 2. And yes, if you have not played this game already, this bangs.
Really great game. And this is a perfect VR game, I think.
Yes.
Especially that it's literally played with your eyes. Yeah, I think this is a great get for PSVR 2.
Absolutely. We got a new trailer for Destiny 2 Lightfall, of course, which came out.
Yes.
Which the trailer looked awesome.
It did. It did look awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Damn it. They keep tricking us.
They keep tricking us. I will give if Bungie is good at one thing, it's good. They're good at making hype trailers. And
yes.
They have not let me down in that department.
Yeah. The docs and hype trailers,
yes.
Absolutely. We also got Tachia, which is coming March 21st. And no, I'm not referring to a chia pet. It's a game. And it's coming to PS Plus, actually. So that's cool.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty smart move for this game. I think it looks good, but I don't know if it's on a lot of people's radars. But
for sure.
Yeah, it's like kind of like the Stray situation, like getting it to as many people as you can, and if it's really good, then maybe it'll be in the Game of the Year conversation like Stray again.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Then we get PS Plus March lineup, which includes Battlefield 2042, a great get, especially with their updates recently. Minecraft Dungeons, which is the irony is real on that, because of course that's a Microsoft published game. Code Vein and much more. That's pretty cool. Pretty solid lineup. PS Plus. We
Humanity.
Yes, humanity enhances humanity, which this looks like a lot of people on screen. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the game people were comparing to like Ratchet and Clank's like little puzzles they have with Clank, right? Is that right?
Like I didn't see that, but that would make sense.
Okay.
Based off of what I remember from the trailer, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh wait, you haven't played Ratchet and Clank?
I played the first one. No, I haven't played the new one. No.
The new one. Okay. Did the first one have those puzzles?
They had sections where you played as Clank. I don't know if they're the same as in the new game. Maybe in the second game it's like even more like this. But I can see the comparison. Even with just playing the first one.
Yeah, I can't even remember. I can't differentiate between the two in my head at this point.
And, yeah, this one looked very interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting indeed. We also got Goodbye Volcano High coming June 15th.
Yes. I was interested in this game. I don't know why my hype levels are going down the more I see about it, but I think I'll still play it. It's giving me We Are OFK vibes, which is not good because I was also excited for that game and then it came out, it wasn't as I expected. But this seems to be a little bit more promising than that in the type of game that I am expecting. Again, being a little bit more trepidatious now, but still interested. Like a cool little interactive cartoon, essentially, and it's like about not high school ending, but also the world ending because the meteorite is coming to kill them all because they're dinosaurs. But yeah, really cool.
That's insane. I did not know that was the premise. That's crazy. Wow. Oh man, that makes me cry.
Yeah, it's so sad.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Poor dinosaurs. Of course we get Naruto Boruto, which I butchered that again, but we talked about that earlier.
Yes. Looking good.
Yeah. Baldur's Gate 3, which is coming out August 31st for PS5. Very nice. Very nice. Wayfinder, which if I was not told, this kind of looks like Fortnite. Certainly a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what type of game this is. I think it was like a MMO sort of game, but let me check real quick. Wayfinder is a... It's not telling me.
It does give like that kind of MMO-esque vibe to it.
Yeah, it is a massively multiplayer action adventure game.
Gotcha.
Apparently coming soon.
Play the beta right now, apparently. February 28th. Yeah.
I want to say that we've seen this before, actually, now that I'm looking at a trailer, like even before now, but maybe I'm wrong, because what I was going to say is like so many games look like this now.
Yeah.
Especially the MMO ones. It's like it's kind of hard to stand out.
Yeah, for sure. The graphical fidelity doesn't quite hit that, next level because it has more. Yeah. We got Zangief for Street Fighter 6.
Yes. They revealed Tim and one new character and Cammy in that little Street Fighter section, and they all look fantastic.
Lily is the new one?
Lily is the new one, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And they all look really fun. Especially Cammy. Cammy's looking good in her new outfit.
Very cool. I'm not a big Street Fighter person, so I didn't know any of these characters, but
I am definitely have been admirer from afar. I haven't played a lot of them, but I've always liked watching people play them. But I think I'm actually going to play Street Fighter 6 for sure.
Heck yeah. Resident Evil 4 remake got a new look, which I've been trying to avoid stuff on RE4 remake just because I just want to, enjoy it when it comes out. But these screenshots that he put on here looking real good.
A lot of people were saying, because as you heard from the online chatter about it, that this straight play wasn't that exciting, but a lot of people are saying that this is what saved the show for them, like this showing of RE4. And I admit, as not a horror fan, it did look awesome. It did look really fun.
Heck yeah.
They're doing the damn thing over there at Capcom.
Yes. They're also doing a special demo that's coming soon for it, so that'll be cool to look out for. I think they did the same thing for RE2 remake and 3 remake, so very excited to play that. And then they closed the show with 15 minutes from Suicide Squad. In Row, it has not gotten the best reception online.
It has not.
Yeah.
No. I feel like 15 minutes may have been too long, but I'm glad they showed us, because now I know I shouldn't be super excited for this, at least for my type of taste. And it looked more like a shooter, and then like an action melee sort of game that we know Rocksteady, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Rocksteady to be known for. And because of that, all the characters kind of felt similar. I know that they have like their own abilities and stuff, but like moment to moment, they're all like just shooting the same, apparently literally the same guns, because the loot pool is like kind of shared. So a gun that Harley Quinn can pick up, so can Deadshot, and so can King Shark. It's like, that's kind of lame. But yeah, I wasn't super. Yeah.
Sorry.
No. I was just gonna end by saying I wasn't super impressed by what I saw.
Yeah, I got the same impression that you got, where it just felt very samey, like seeing the different characters. Like, obviously they have different abilities that they kind of showed off, but like it did feel very samey, just like moment to moment gameplay, switching between the characters. So that is a little disappointing. And like you're saying, like Rocksteady's bread and butter is melee combat, and like there's not really, I don't know that they even showed any melee combat in this. So yeah, it's not looking so good for Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and I'm interested in where the story's going, though. Like seeing Wonder Woman pop up was really cool, and her having that the interaction with Flash was like, that's cool. I want to see more of that. But it's just like it might be one of those games where I play it to get to the next cutscene, and I for what it's worth, I have played games like that, and I've had and enjoyed it enough because the story was really carrying it. But I don't know if Suicide Squad will be that. I could always just watch it on YouTube at the end of the day. But yeah, it's and we've talked about it on the show before with this live service kind of epidemic that's going on in the games industry, where they're just attaching it to stuff that doesn't really fit that sort of style, and it's kind of hurting the end product.
Yeah. I agree completely. And like, obviously the game was very much built for that, sustainable world, like, co-op and such, like with the loot drops and everything, like you were saying, where you shared loot drops. So it is a little disappointing that, it doesn't look like it's going too well. But we also got a little bit more information as well after the event ended from the Q&A page, which there's a couple questions here. Does Suicide Squad support cross-platform play for online co-op? They said yes, so that part's good. However, they also asked, is an internet connection required to play Suicide Squad? And they said yes, an internet connection is required to play via solo or online co-op. So,
oh boy.
Yeah.
And if it's one of those situations where you, like if you're playing on PlayStation, for example, where you need PlayStation Plus to play single player by yourself, it's like, that's even worse.
That is a great point.
Yeah. My goodness. I hope it's not the case, but yeah, that always sucks when especially when the option is there to play by yourself that you literally can't without internet connection. Yeah, that's a little sucky.
Kirik, thank you for joining us. You almost made it to the end. Almost. But all right, Ro, what would you give the state of play?
Ooh, I would give this one a 6. Better than the Nintendo one, because they set expectations.
That's fair.
They did tell us exactly what we were going to get, and I give it a low score just because of what they showed off wasn't super great, especially the Suicide Squad stuff. I am excited for Goodbye Volcano High, and Resident Evil 4 looks really cool, and Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 was awesome. But besides that, I knew Chia was coming. Great that it's coming on Game Pass, but I knew about that, and I'm excited for that. But a lot of the other indie games that they showed off didn't really hit with me. So yeah, 6 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of PSVR2 titles, which some of them looked pretty cool, but like again, they're still looking for that killer app to bring everyone into that ecosystem. Obviously, we talked about Beyond Your Eye, or right? Is that right?
Before Your Eyes.
Before Your Eyes. Thank you. Before Your Eyes being a great title for that, but obviously that's just ported over from PC. So like, we need some original content to actually get people invested in the ecosystem, or Sony, let us use it on PC, because that would be a big thing too.
That'd be huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't rate the Pokemon Presents because, like, obviously that really wasn't geared towards me. So I don't think that would be fair for me to give that one a grade. But this one, I think I'm probably about the same realm as you, like 5 or 6 for state of play as well.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, do you have anything else you want to talk about in regards to our state of play versus Pokemon Presents?
No, not in particular. I'm excited for the next one. Excited for the next one for both of them, from Pokemon and PlayStation. Excited for what's next. Yeah.
The next Nintendo Direct is very soon with Mario.
Right,
movie.
That's true. I am excited for that, actually. Very excited for that.
It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be good. Oh, that actually reminded me. Mario movie was pushed up 2 days.
Right. Yeah, to the 5th of April now. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Very cool indeed. All right. Well, Eric is gone now, but thank you to everyone else that has been joining us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Thank you, Ro, as always.
Thank you.
I am Daniel, and this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Much love, and keep on gaming.
See ya.